Why did one of the largest candy companies in the world just acquire a company that originally started selling hydrolyzed whey protein powder in the late 90s? So instead of attempting to build further suspense, how about I just reveal the first character of this story laid out in that introductory question? When I came across the deal headline during the late afternoon portion of January 24th, I'd actually just finished eating one of the brand's protein bars. But even after being a fan of the product for probably the last 15 years and consuming hundreds of FitCrunch bars in that time frame, I didn't know the founding story until analyzing information for this content piece. And after learning about it, I couldn't just totally skip over mentioning it, as one, that why behind Kevin Lawrence founding FitCrunch is super impactful to me being a relatively new father, but also two, the why behind this founding story should be inspiring for any entrepreneurial journey regardless of its current stage. But the super brief version of the FitCrunch, or technically the Bio-Nutritional Research Group Inc. founding story, is that Kevin Lawrence, a former world champion bodybuilder with over a decade spent formulating sports nutrition products, faced a devastating life dilemma when his newborn son became critically ill in 1991. After consulting with his medical doctor and biochemist friends, Kevin Lawrence put his advanced knowledge of protein nutrition to the ultimate test and came to the unorthodox conclusion that his son was likely suffering from an inability to digest the very large intact protein molecules found in off-the-shelf infant formulas. So Kevin Lawrence started substituting the standard whole milk proteins for hydrolyzed whey protein formula, resulting in his son quickly feeling significantly better, and his painful digestive problems did not return. But it took Kevin Lawrence another 5 years of development work before he launched Proto-Whey protein powder, the company's first product that had the same amazing protein properties that healed his infant son. And while that founding story of turning a personal challenge into a business opportunity is certainly inspiring, the early part of FitCrunch wouldn't be considered by anyone's standard a commercial success. It wasn't until 2003 that Kevin Lawrence perfected the iconic FitCrunch protein energy bar in its unique cream-filled wafer crisp form factor. And over the next 20 plus years, FitCrunch expanded flavor variants, growing extensively across all major retailers nationwide. Moreover, FitCrunch launched several other high-protein bar, confectionary, and beverage variants over the years. But I'll provide more strategic commentary around that product innovation activity a bit later in this content. But for right now, I want to shift into the recent deal news that inspired this content and introduce the other main character. As briefly mentioned earlier, on January 24th of 2025, Ferrero Group announced it had signed an agreement to acquire FitCrunch. And I'm going to assume you've heard the Ferrero Group name before, but maybe some additional details would be helpful because it's often been described as one of the world's most secretive companies. But it was founded in 1946 by a small-time pastry maker who invented a cream of hazelnuts and cocoa, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become Nutella. Ferrero entered the North American market in 1969 and has grown substantially through recent M&A activity. Most notably, Ferrero Candy Company, I know, confusing, right, in late 2017, Nestle's American confectionery business that included brand names like Butterfinger and Crunch Bar. A few months later, a collection of cookie, fruit snack, ice cream cone, and pie crust businesses from Kellogg's in mid-2019, and then the ice cream company Wells Enterprises that owned Blue Bunny and Halo Top in late 2022. And there were several other small deals within the North America market and beyond, growing Ferrero Group into about a $18 billion multinational CPG company that employs more than 40,000 people across dozens of manufacturing facilities, warehouses, and offices. That, by the way, is still being led by a third generation of the Ferrero family. But that introductory question is still unanswered. Why would the Ferrero Group, one of the world's largest sweet packaged food companies, acquire FitCrunch? I guess firstly, it's important to note that Ferrero Group is no different than other multinational confectionery giants, from Hershey's to Mondelez and Mars, as involvement within the bar format of convenient nutrition is not abnormal, whether entering through M&A activity or brand extension development. In fact, FitCrunch isn't even the first deal by Ferrero Group that involved a brand selling nutritional and or protein bars, as they bought the brand Eat Natural in late 2020 and FULFIL Nutrition in mid-2022. So then maybe I'll adjust that introductory question and ask, why is Ferrero Group investing further into protein bars? There's probably a multitude of reasons that start with consumers like really not being able to get enough of protein and the increasingly diverse consumer cohorts that possess a heightened awareness around the value of this essential nutrient, and that making it a battleground category as it proliferates across the entire grocery store. Moreover, the Ferrero Group seeks to build a broader product portfolio that stretches across snacking and particularly move deeper into high-growth well-being segments, as that will improve positioning against the age of Ozempic consumer backdrop. And that's because these sweet packaged food companies should be well past the point of wondering if GLP-1 will create disruptive second-order effects. Instead, thoughtful strategic actions must be prioritized to hedge against risk and take advantage of weight management consumers looking to incorporate snacks into their routine that will conveniently satisfy their hunger, but at the same time also be a relatable, indulgent-like taste profile that can support their evolving health and wellness goals. And while this FitCrunch deal signals to me that Ferrero Group wants to own substantial market share within the well-being snacking space, don't just take my word for it. In the press release, both Kevin Lawrence and Ferrero Group leadership included quotes that referenced ambitions around well-being snacking categorical growth, focusing on quality craftsmanship, distinctive products, and thoughtful investment. And maybe that focus I just noted tells you something about why Ferrero Group targeted FitCrunch. The protein bar market, like the entire supplement industry, has mostly a sea of sameness composition. But where the protein bar and functional food space in general varies is that differentiation can be derived from having a unique form factor. Furthermore, if that unique form factor proves popular, a competitive advantage can be created through defensibility if you own or created that manufacturing process. And as part of the transaction, Ferrero Group will take over a California facility and absorb approximately 50 employees, with my assumption being that these were key operational assets and human capital. And that's because, as I mentioned earlier, Ferrero Group places great emphasis on secrecy, reportedly to guard against industrial espionage. While some of the strictness may have subsided over the years, Ferrero Group rarely allows site visits, and many of its products are made with machines designed by its in-house engineering department. Now, that being said, the form factor of FitCrunch is unique, but not 100% proprietary, with an increase in cream-filled wafer crisp style competitors lately. But in a contract manufacturing, follow the leader dominated category like protein bars, you'd expect to see many more competitors. Additionally, when a billion-dollar active nutrition brand like Optimum Nutrition tries and fails within a short time frame to make a similar wafer-style form factor successful, it likely tells you, one, the production difficulty level, and two, consumers believe the superior taste and texture of FitCrunch creates a high enough switching cost to sustain its market share. And maybe that's a good transition, because I know everyone is wondering the financial details of this FitCrunch transaction. But unfortunately, as you already kind of assumed, Ferrero Group would never disclose that type of information unless absolutely necessary. Yet, that doesn't mean I can't help, at least by providing some US market share comparisons, right? So using some rough napkin math, FitCrunch is about 1/3 the size of Quest Nutrition and about the same size of FitCrunch that was just acquired by 1440 Foods. And while those transaction details were also not made public, I'd estimate the FitCrunch valuation to be slightly higher because of the stronger growth rates and larger manufacturing facilities that were acquired within the deal, but partially offset by the fact that private equity was involved, compared to Ferrero Group being a strategic. But then finally, FitCrunch is about 7 times larger than the US market share size of the other Ferrero Group protein bar brand FULFIL, though the bulk of their historical revenue has been generated in the UK or Europe, and I believe the brand has massive upside in the coming years. But for this last part of the content, I want to kind of quickly consider what could be next for FourFilFrunch. Ferrero Group will be faced with a depth or breadth strategic decision with the FourFilFrunch brand. The highly probable return on investment plan would be if Ferrero Group continues to launch an extensive line of delicious flavors, increase the buy rates, attract more everyday consumers, and fill in the distribution gaps. But the riskier strategic endeavor would be to successfully make FourFilFrunch a multi-categorical lifestyle brand. This has been unsuccessfully attempted on multiple occasions by FourFilFrunch already, with a protein chocolate bar, protein RTD beverage, and a savory, crunchy protein balls product launching over the years. Moreover, FourFilFrunch has launched or considered launching various other line and brand extensions, with the current bar lineup including the original, a higher protein containing pro version, and a kids version that launched in 2017. But maybe solving the multi-categorical lifestyle brand challenge will come down to leaning into the word crunch, meaning all products within the FourFilFrunch portfolio must be both protein added or high protein and crunchy. So the newest product innovation, the high protein crisp, aka the protein Pringles, is a perfect concept for my vision. Finally, to expand further on that idea, Ferrero Group could easily leverage its expertise to make high-protein crunchy cookies, a version of Kinder Bueno, a revamped protein crunch bar or Butterfinger, and other protein chocolate items like what Atkins Indulge has done more recently, but also maybe protein pretzels, covered or not, and protein chips. But I hope you enjoyed the first principles thinking that went into my latest YouTube video. If you did, can you do me a favor by hitting that like button? That quick and free action helps YouTube know my content is worth spreading to more people. Also, we're getting really close to reaching my next subscriber goal, and it would be great if you join me on this journey. But to do that, we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 3/4 of you that are watching this video right now are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, and that hurts my feelings. Regardless, I want to thank you for giving me some of your attention and time, and I'll see you on the next one.